Tommy, you and I have known each other for a good few years. You've been writing songs for a lot longer than that. What prompted this particular song that you wrote called Amy?
I believe it to be a subconscious kind of effort that things that maybe I haven't dealt with in my life. Amy's kind of my story. And it's a 15-year-old song. I just had to let the world know about it. And it's been in the works for a long time, and it's finally come that we can make a message.
Well, Tommy, the common adage that all songwriters will tell you, good songwriters, is you've got to write about what you know. And this story about homeless people is a universal story. It's a story that we've been dealing with for I'm not sure how long, but it's with us today, right across this country, other countries. It's a theme that people find difficult to deal with. People are conflicted about how to deal with that. What do you do when you pass somebody on a bench? And you've cut to the quick here by writing not only about that story, but doing a video that would allow people to get a sense and a feel for what homelessness means.
Yeah, I want to try to strike the soul with this writing of Amy. I want people to make a difference. Having been there, having been thrown out of a very volatile house, it was not easy. And the worst, I will say, is many times it was minus 30, or I was alone in a motel room. The worst was not the cold, was not that you were wet. It was that I was alone. And so maybe I'm dealing with this through a song, and I'm offering it up just to try to make a difference.
When you gave thought to doing the video, at what point in your mind did you say to yourself, well, I'd like to tell this story, but I think it would be helpful if I had somebody else help me along? How did that work in your head, and how did you come to this lovely lady here sitting on my right?
The collaboration point was something I wanted to go out and try, because I'd never done it on my own before. God love the Northern Sons and everything we've accomplished throughout the years, but I'd never done anything on my own. And so the project was to get someone that could complement the Amy project, and it was huge. It was Kayleigh's father that introduced me to someone that could actually sing, because I'd been introduced to a lot of people that thought they could emote and thought that they could be the character of the song, because that's what you have to do. You have to sink in and really live the song. And I was very fortunate to hear one of Kayleigh's CDs and then to go to see her live. And I said, man, I'm going to ask her, and I pray that she says yes. And she did, so.
Kayleigh, how did you come to singing? How did you come to singing? And I understand you've done a little bit of acting as well.
That's correct. I've been singing since a very young age. I started with musical theater, and I was just very touched when I first saw people performing on the stage, and that I knew that's where I wanted to be, and I knew music is something that I wanted to pursue in my life.
Is this a theme that you know anything about, the homelessness theme?
I mean, growing up in Ottawa, homelessness is something I always saw growing up. Whenever we went, downtown, it's very something very relevant you see when you go downtown. So growing up, yeah.
Tommy, if I could come back to the problem. I grew up in a town where I don't remember there being any homeless people.
Yeah.
It was a town of maybe 40, 50,000.
Yeah.
There are big cities, there are small towns. Some have homeless people, some don't. Why is that?
Well, is it hidden? You don't know. And that's unless you're really looking for it. And it's scary, and it's not talked about, but the difference is going to start with me. Difference is going to start with you. Anybody that can have an ear on what we're trying to get across as a message, they have an opportunity to make a difference, and to go out and seek. And if there's one out there that's alone tonight as we go to bed, it's one too many. So we as humanity, we have to get to work.
I think that the difficulty that people have, I guess, to some extent anyway, is what can I do about it? You know, you'll walk past, and I think we've all done this, or well, maybe not all of us, but some of us have walked past homeless people and thought, boy, this is a terrible situation. But what am I going to do about it? So what do you tell these people? What do you tell people like me?
Well, I'll tell you that the street people, they unless they're right out of their minds chemically, they just want to be talked to. They don't want, for the most part, you think they always want money. They don't. They want just a warm heart to have a warm conversation. How are you? It's just the basics. What's your name? Somebody stopped to get to know my name. Like, where have we gone in the world? Well, we can't take time.
The challenge you had, I guess, in doing the video is to get at that message in a way that would cause people to think about the issue and what they could do about it. Now, how did you go about doing that?
Well, you get emotionally attached when you, like I have, and I go down to the missions, and I go to these youth hostels, and even some of the bureaus that were throughout Ottawa. You go in there and you start to make this soak in, and then you really get to feel what it's like. And that's what I tell writers all the time. If you want to write a song, it's research. You really have to go out there and find out what it is you want to write about, and then you can really emote very well, especially when it comes to the end of a pen.
You have this thought in your mind about bringing this message to people visually, because it's so effective. How did you go about doing that? And what were the elements of that? What is it that you want? What picture did you want to paint?
Well, first of all, it's a collaboration piece, right? It takes a lot of people to do what we did. It was a team effort, and I'm so grateful. God, I am so grateful. But we charted out images, and we concept what would stick, what would work, and a lot of what we saw on the Amy shoot, a lot of it hit the floor, but the ones that really hit our souls, that's what we wanted, and that's what we kept. And Kayleigh was a big part of that, because it was, she just emoted everything, and when you saw the different characters in her face would change from being that happy girl, to where she had to go back into the Amy state. It was just beautifully done. She knew what to do, and you can't fake that.
Good thing you had some acting experience.
Exactly.
Yeah, and just being able to sing the way she sings, like, it's just, finding the right people, and it was fun. The whole thing, as serious it was, Kayleigh, it was fun.
It was fun.
And even with Kayleigh driving the ATV down the. Have you ever driven an ATV before? So all the sound equipment, thousands of dollars a day, and she's down
the back of my ATV.
Yeah,
it doesn't fall off.
That's it. And we went down to where the graffiti was live, and where the people would really live underneath an overpass.
That was filmed locally.
Yeah, in Arnprior, Ontario. Yes.
In Arnprior, and the surrounding area.
Just Arnprior. It's just all our back streets. And
now, Amy, this wasn't all fun, because I watched the film, and there was some snow, and there was some rain, and there's you lying on the bench.
Yeah, I have to say it was a beautiful experience. It's a beautiful message, but a part of it too, I think what helped me so much get into the zone was, part of it is really sad. After I was laying on the bench in the cold and freezing, somebody after would throw a blanket on me or throw a jacket on me to make sure I got warmed up. But when you think about it, these people who are on the streets, universal, they don't have anybody there to just throw a blanket on them after or give them a jacket. So it was a really eye-opening experience for me.
Well, there's a bit of a fascinating little thing that happened here, in as much as just to show you that there are people who care. You actually ran into a situation where people walked by and thought this was for real.
Right.
Tell us about that.
We were shooting the scene, and it was crazy. It's like a coincidence almost. We're shooting something, and the line is, people walk by and pretend they're blind. And we had Tom's family walking by and pretending, right, that they couldn't see me. But this guy came over, and he was very concerned, and he actually thought that they were all picking on me. And it was just nice to see that one person, like, he could have changed somebody or shown somebody that there is people out there that care about the homeless youth that are on the streets. Now,
You've chosen a message here that I think everybody knows about, everybody can relate to. How are you going to spread that word? What will you do here to let people know, let more people know, and let people know what maybe they can do?
Yeah, I mean, this is a huge opportunity. I mean, not to ignore it, and I'm glad to have people that I've come across, especially Kayleigh. She's youthful and she's in touch with the youth, so she can be that speaker of hope, with this message we call Amy. And I will take all my solo shows. I will take, even if the Northern Sons want to adopt the song and we send the message out, that way that will happen. But certainly my every solo concert that I do, I will get the message out and I will tell the story. And I'll make them feel it. I will give it everything I have.
Tom, when you first thought about the issue of homelessness, it wasn't yesterday. And my understanding is that this occurred to you some maybe 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So this has been gestating in your head, as has the issue. I mean, the issue's been with us for a long time. Mm-hmm. Take us, if you would, through the time period when you first had the notion that this is a subject I want to deal with.
The song itself was probably 2004, Ron. 2004 is when it was written, and it sat in a duffel bag all these years, and I finally said we're going to do something with it. But and then 2019 is when we got to work and trying to collaborate and get everybody's time scheduling together. It was 8-9 member team. But I think through that Kayleigh got really sick, being on that bench for so long. It took you what?
A week. A week. Get a week to get over. Yeah.
So the scene where she's on the bench with me and I've got that putting down the little girl's picture right beside her. She was in the rain a long time, and so the time frame to get the whole collaboration piece together and James on board and everybody's mom and dad had to be coordinated. It was a great learning experience. It was frustrating sometimes because you always want it to happen quick, but it came together beautifully. And I will quote someone once said, hauntingly beautiful. And Kayleigh is such a big part of that. The success of this thing was beautiful. And my saving grace was Megan. Megan came in at the last minute and got things done for us, or the timelines would have been not as strong. And Mika was on with me, so Freedom Never Dies YouTube, so it was good. It was awesome to have her back. But we are family now. We have a collective focus on how we can move forward. And it's moving humanity forward. That's what we have to do.
It just goes to show you, though, that these videos don't happen overnight. These videos take a team of people. In your case, how many people were involved in the core team?
It's probably 8 or 9, I'd say, yeah. I'm sorry I can't answer that directly, but it was a beautiful team, though. We had a lot of fun.
And from beginning to end, when you first started shooting to the time it was finished, took how long?
Well, I'm going to say probably 2 years, 2.5 years, especially with the COVID thing. And we had to take a lot of precautions, but it was all worth it. I mean, every cent we put into it was so worth it, and we're gonna carry on the message. But and it's the creative genius of James and Drift Studios. It was unbelievable. I don't know how many people you've worked with in a studio before, but that guy is a gift. Oh, yeah. It's just it's the real deal, and he's got to calm me down sometimes and get me collected enough that I can concentrate, and he knows how to get to me. Just
the ideas, and James really was able to make this message just come to life.
Yeah. Big part of the success. But and it's just a beautiful message, and I hope people get it. I really do, and I hope they challenge themselves. I really hope this really makes a difference, that people will challenge themselves to move humanity forward.
Tommy, you've you've touched on a subject that's of great social importance here, and I understand that this is your first project of that nature. What's in store for you? Are there going to be other important issues you're going to be dealing with in song and in video?
Mm-hmm. I would like, if she'll have me, we'll do something again. And I really want to thank her, because she's Kayleigh Stiles. This is Kayleigh Stiles, and the world is going to get to know Kayleigh Stiles. I'm just a simple guy, and I'm a Tom Gardiner, but I think we both agree that forget us in its entirety. Mm-hmm. We are here for the message.
Yeah, it was.
But I hope we get to do something again. I mean,
hope so.
we're two different genres, and I'm so glad that you came to do this. But I haven't told her this, but I'd like to maybe venture in just a kick-ass bluegrass song, and I hope she says yes. I may take some flowers and chocolates, but I'm telling you, I hope she'll take on the project. But I want to thank you very much for what you did. You're an awesome, soulful individual, and I love you.
Again,
well,
this is my pleasure.
That happens, Kayleigh, because boy, there's one thing you can do is sing.
Thank you. I've always told Tom this and everybody, it was a pleasure to work on this and be a part of this beautiful message and to really bring it to life. And like I said, this is family now. I have so much love for Tom. It's family.
Thank you.
We did. She's a park bed sleeper in a back alley creeper, and she living on